Hey, hello there. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Hello and welcome to all my friends, new and old. Today, I'm gonna talk about my very first trip to the Philippines. Now, you're probably looking at this picture here and saying, hey, this is a picture of a snowy winter day in New York City. But if that was your guess, you are absolutely right, my friend. It was a cold winter morning when I took this picture of my fire escape. Frozen snow, just a dreary, gloomy, disgusting winter day. Anyway, welcome to my channel. My name is Yao Fusu, and today I'm going to talk about the Philippines in pictures. My very first time I traveled to the Philippines. I'm going to share my pictures with you and hope you enjoy. Now, where do I start? Let's go to this beautiful young lady here. Now, if you could see this beautiful young lady on the screen correctly, that is my lovely girlfriend. Well, actually, she's my wife now. However way you want to say it. Let me get you closer so you can really take a good look at her. This beautiful young lady was the reason why I went to the Philippines for the first time. I had met her. She went back to her country. And basically, she invited me to come visit her and meet her family. So, the year was 2015, January 2015 to be exact. Now, this is a picture of me and my son, or should I say my son and I. If you can see it very well, it was a brutal winter, and basically life in New York sucked ass, as my white friends would say. So at that very time, I was involved in a relationship with this mulatto girl, half Jamaican, half Irish. Now, she was a beautiful soul, but the relationship at that time was wearing out. Okay? Now, I don't want to get too much into details, but that relationship had run its course. So when this girl invited me to come visit her in the Philippines, I did what any logical man, any red-blooded man would do. I turned to my kids. Basically, I enslaved them to shovel snow off my car and, do all the hard manual labor work. Like it's supposed to be in America, slavery. Anyway, that's not really part of the story, but I just wanted to throw it in there. So, I pretty much packed myself, put myself together, jumped on a plane, bound for the Philippines. Okay, I booked a flight with ANA of Japan, flew from New York to Tokyo. My first 14-hour flight. Was it worth it? Oh yeah, it was. It was worth every second of that flight. So, pretty much took off from New York, And as they say, flew overseas. As you can see, flew over the ocean. Basically, flying to Japan from New York, you actually fly across Canada, over the you fly across Alaska, over the Bering Sea, into Siberia, Russian Siberia, before you enter a little bit of the Pacific, before you get pretty much into Hokkaido, and then get into Tokyo. So it's a long flight, 14 hours. If you're wondering, from New York to Tokyo, it's a 14-hour flight. So I got through that, and from Tokyo flew another 4.5, almost 5 hours to Manila. And there was my girl. There she is, as lovely as ever, looking beautiful, waiting for me. Let me zoom in a little bit so you can see how beautiful she is. Beautiful young lady with a big forehead like an Ethiopian, but she's a Filipina. So I saw her. I was happy to see her again. Basically, she came with her entire family to meet me. And thanks to some Filipina lady that was on the flight from Tokyo to Manila, she pretty much taught me the customs of what to do when I meet her mother. And I, pretty much, first of all, I'm a respectful person anyway, so I did what I was supposed to do. And the family, how would I say it? They pretty much was okay with me. So, make the long story short, we got to her house, beautiful, lovely home. And basically, what two people do when they haven't seen each other in a while. Use your imagination. So, next day, woke up. One thing about Filipinos is, how can I say it? They are very lovely people. My girl and her family, man, they treated me well. I ate foods I've never eaten before. I felt very welcome. I felt very much at home my first few days there. Her family will come and visit us. This is a picture of her mother and her older sister, and they are all beautiful. Very, very beautiful family. Let me zoom in so you can see them well. There they are. That's the mother in the middle, and her older sister in the yellow. Lovely family. Her mother's pretty much like a second mother to me now. That's how much I love that woman. So, now, my pictures are not in exact order, so bear with me as I go through my first time pictures in the Philippines. Now, I want you to take another look at my girl. Now, this young lady stole my heart. Okay? She's a very beautiful, sexy young lady. And I love her big forehead, no matter what anybody says. That's one of the main things about her that made me fall in love with her. That humongous forehead. They call me freaky, but I love that. Alright, let me see what more pictures I can show. Now, my girlfriend couldn't wait to show me around and all kinds of foods to eat in her small town. Oh, basically, let me jump a little bit into the story here. Now, my girlfriend lives about an hour and a half away from Manila, which is like the main city. Live in a small town called Ternate. And it's a beautiful small town. So here's a picture of me eating pancit in her mother's house. It's my favorite Filipino food up to now. Pancit. Especially the bihon pancit, I believe it's called. I love that. Okay. Now let me show you this picture here. This picture here is this. You probably ask me, well, what does this got to do with your story? Absolutely nothing, but I'm going to show it to you anyway. This picture here, I took it at Tokyo airport of this Chinese baby that couldn't stop looking at me. Now, I mean, this Chinese baby was looking at me for about an hour straight. No matter what the mother do to try to turn her attention away, the baby would turn around and just kept staring at me. So I grabbed my camera and I'm like, you know what? Let me take a picture of this baby for memory's sake. So that little China baby, I'm pretty sure I was the first black person she had ever seen. I don't know if it's a she or he, but I'm pretty sure I was the first black person that child has ever seen. So he or she couldn't take the eyes off of me. All right, now let me jump back into my story. So, let me see, where would I be? So anyway, my girlfriend started showing me around how beautiful her small town is. This is a picture I took of a water fountain in the town square or town plaza, whatever they call it over there. Every little town in the Philippines have like town plazas and squares or whatever. It's a beautiful, lovely country. Let me show you. This is yours truly in front of that fountain. I enjoyed my first time there. Let me see what else I can show. Okay. Now, let me give you a little geographical and historical fact about the Philippines. Now, what you see here is definitely a Catholic cathedral. Now, the Philippines is the only country in Asia that was occupied by Spain. And basically the Philippines was under Spanish occupation for 333 years under Spanish occupation before the Americans kicked the Spanish out after the Spanish-American War. 333 years under Spanish occupation. And believe me, Philippines is like pretty much like Spain or Puerto Rico. Okay, like 95% of Filipinos have Spanish names. What the Spanish did to them was like what they did to American blacks here. All right, they pretty much, well, they didn't enslave them, but they pretty much destroyed their natural Asian culture. Okay, they took away their Asian names, their Asian cultures, everything. Okay, 95% of Filipinos have Spanish first name, Spanish middle name, Spanish last name. Okay, from presidents like Ferdinand Marcos to the new one. What was his name? Rodrigo Duterte. Philippines is pretty much a Latin country. Okay, now if you're into women, the Philippines got some of the most beautiful women in the world. Okay, you can see women that look like Jennifer Lopez, to women that look like my girlfriend with a big forehead, to women that look pretty much like almost Japanese or whatever. So, I think about the third day that we were there, I was there, my girlfriend decided for us to take a trip into her father's hometown, a rice growing village called Nasugbu, Batangas. Okay, so now we pretty much hired a driver that took us there. We went with her sister and a couple of people. And on our way there, my girlfriend told me, listen, where we are going to is different from this small town or Manila, okay? It's a rice growing village. They hardly ever see foreigners over there. So, and especially you being a black man, majority of them have never seen a black person before. So just prepare yourself. You will be stared at, okay? And I was like, oh, all right, that's cool. Bring it on. So we took the trip. We got there. And when we got there, majority of the people of that village were in the rice fields, working in the rice fields. So as you can see in the background, there was pretty much, like the retirees and just a few people that were in the village. Okay, but there was this little boy. I could remember him very, very clearly. He was wearing like a yellow bandana. Let me see if I could find a picture of him somewhere. Let me see if I could find a picture of him somewhere. There. This gentleman here, that guy in the yellow bandana in the middle of the screen. As soon as he saw me, his jaw dropped. And he ran into the rice fields to call all the people over there to let them know that there's a foreigner here and he's black. And believe me when I tell you this, all of them stopped whatever they were doing to come look at a black person. Okay, now I am not BSing here. I am not bullshitting you. They stopped what they were doing just to come take a look at a black person. Okay? Now, let me see if I can find more pictures. The curiosity of these people was astonishing. Okay? Like, for example, look at these children. They couldn't stop looking at me. And if you could see like further down, further left on the picture, more and more people were coming out of nowhere just to come take a look at me. And I'm just standing there with my camera. Like, I almost felt like, I felt almost ashamed taking pictures of them, because these people were just standing there looking at me like, what? What planet is this person from? You know? It was pretty amazing. Let me see if I could find more pictures of that. They pretty much came out of nowhere. A bunch of people came out of the rice fields to take a look at me. Now, this here is a picture of my girl and I standing in a cleared part of that part of the rice field. Is you can see that is recently cleared off. And this picture was taken by my girl's sister. Okay, and I think it's a lovely picture. You can see the mountains in the background. I loved it. Okay, what else can I share? Let me see. Let me see if I can go up. I can find something. This is another picture of my girlfriend and her sister. Oh, by the way, her sister is a very beautiful woman too. Very, very beautiful. Most Filipinas are beautiful women. Okay? Let me see. Let's keep going. Let's go down a little bit. Oh, here. Ladies and gentlemen, this thing here, this marvelous machine you're looking at, is called a jeepney. Jeepney. Now, this is pretty much, you can find this machine in every part of the Philippines, from the cities to the small towns to the provinces. It's a huge, major transportation system in the Philippines. Okay. Now I saw one in a small town with an inscription that says New York, and I was like, oh, I gotta take a picture with this. Since I'm from New York, let me take a picture with this. So I took a picture with that. All right. Now let me see another form of transportation that's very common in the Philippines. This here. Ladies and gentlemen, this thing here is called a tricycle. A tricycle. Now, funny thing is, the first time I tried to ride in one of them, I didn't know how to get in properly, and it was a bunch of people around, and they all started laughing because I didn't know how to get in the right way. Now, this marvelous, ingenious machine here, I have literally counted 10 people on one tricycle before with a sidecar. Now if you could look, let me see if I could zoom into this picture a little bit. If you could see this one here, this tricycle is holding, let's see, 1, 2, see, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is holding 6 people. This is probably a family tricycle. It's holding 6 people. And this is nothing. They actually have tricycles that's like extended and could hold people in the back. I've counted 10 people on a tricycle before, and before I went to the Philippines, I didn't know motorcycles could be that strong to carry that much people. I was amazed. I was pretty amazed by how ingenious these people are. Oh, by the way, if anybody tells you that the Philippines is a poor country, they are lying to you. Some people live really, really good. Now, I'm not saying there's no poverty in the Philippines, because there are. There are a lot of poor people, but there are also some very, very rich people that live in beautiful, beautiful homes. Look at the house behind me. Okay, I took a picture of this house right here, and this is in a small town, my girl's town. And there are many beautiful homes. Look at the house, beautiful. I love the color, the paint combination of, like, I don't know if it's burgundy or red with the orange. It's amazing. It's beautiful. They know how to build houses there. All right. Now let me see what else I could share with you guys. Let's find something up. Okay. There are malls. Oh my goodness. The Philippines have the most beautiful malls possibly in the world. Okay? Now, the only place I've seen a mall that's more beautiful than the Philippines was in Dubai. Mall of Dubai is the only mall that I've seen that's prettier than any other mall in the Philippines. Now, this is a small town mall. And I took this picture. I'm gonna zoom into this picture so you could see properly. I saw this gentleman walking with his twin daughters. Oh crap! What did I do? No. Let me go back to that picture. Where is that picture? There it is. Let me go back to it. Yes. So I saw this gentleman walking with his twin daughters, and take a look at this beautiful little girl here. She saw me and she froze. Obviously, she's never seen a black person before. She froze to the point that she was standing there for like a whole minute while her family started walking away. She was still standing there looking at me. So I grabbed onto my camera and I snapped a picture of her. And believe me, her family they pretty much woke up to like the next pillar, and the young lady was still standing there until her father turned around and noticed she's still standing there, and the father started calling for her to come and join the family. Beautiful little girl, but you could tell the way she was looking at me, she's never seen a black person before. Okay, let me see, what else can I share? This is a picture I took of my girl, looking marvelous like a Hawaiian. She looked like a Hawaiian in this picture. Anyway, Filipinos are actually Pacific Islanders, so they're pretty much cousins to Hawaiians and them. So yeah, they're pretty much like Hawaiians. Now, this picture here was the first time I saw how Asiatic my girl is. She was chopping onions, right? And I was standing there looking at her like, wow, you really are Chinese. Because she was chopping onions like so fast. I was just amazed. I was standing there looking at her like, wow. I was culture shocked. This girl could cut through an onion in like 15 seconds, dice an onion into small pieces. It's amazing. Okay, what else can I show? Let me see. This is another picture of my girl and her sister and her mom in their beautiful home. They really made me feel at home. You know, they treated me like family, and I appreciated that very much. As you can see, very beautiful family. Very beautiful family. Mother is beautiful, my girl is beautiful, her sister is beautiful. Yeah, amazing. What else can I show? Okay. Let me see. Let me go here. Now, I personally love the country, like, the outdoors. This is a picture I took with a cow, or over there they call it carabao, in the background, on a recently plowed rice field. And as you can see, it's a beautiful, beautiful place. The air smells awesome, coming from New York smog. I mean, it was a beautiful place, man. I for the first time I went there, I enjoyed myself. Oh, by the way, I have traveled to the Philippines about 10,000 times now since the first time I went there, okay? Don't ask me why. I fell in love with the country, and it's pretty much my second home now. Alright. Let me see what else I could share. These pictures I'm showing are all from the first time that I went there. Okay, let me see. Now this is a picture of these young boys that used to come do acrobatics on the field that I took a picture on. These kids will do backflips and all kinds of karate moves like nothing. I fell in love with them, and I used to try to do some of the moves with them, and they found it hilarious. They were laughing at me like, I mean, I'm an old soccer player, so I thought I could hang with them, but reality really hits me real quick that I don't have 1/10 of the flexibility these kids have. Okay, these kids could flip around like they ain't got no bones in their bodies. Alright? Lovely children. I took a picture with them. What else can I show? Of course, this is my big forehead girl. At the same field. We used to take walks around there and pretty much clear our minds or whatever. Alright. Now, one thing about my girlfriend is she's pretty much casual girl. I mean, she's a beautiful girl, yes. She don't like to dress all the time, I guess it's a Filipino nature or whatever, but when she dresses up, my God,